the level of intolerance of one another among Nigerians on account of ethnic background, which is rising by the day. Also, issues of the ugly trend of tagging members of some ethnic groups as criminals. Looking at the implication now and in the future.
Well, Mr. Joe, like you rightly know, Nigeria is a multilingual state. Nigeria is a multi-religious state. And as a multilingual and a multi-religious state, we must, as a matter of national importance, accept the fact that we are one people. We must see ourselves as brothers and sisters. We must live in harmony. We must live peacefully. We must live with patriotism and nationalistic thinking. Otherwise, it is going to be very, very difficult. Tagging one tribe or religion or region as criminals, I think, is a very dangerous trend. Why? Because as a multilingual and multi-religious state, you have diversity of thinking and attitude. We have diversity of culture and behavior. Now, if you, who will tag who as a criminal? Every section of Nigeria has one peculiar attitude of either doing good or bad thing in one way or the other. If you call a northerner a criminal, then what do you call a southeasterner, or what do you call a westerner himself, who have different types of crime that are being perpetrated according to those regions. So it will be so unfair, so unreasonable for any tribe or section or region to call another tribe or section or region criminals. It will be very, very, it's so unfair, so bad, so unrealistic. And I think that the earlier the better we refrain from this attitude. And then the issue of almost like, if you want to call it, I met Alpha discussing this very issue, the issue of tagging a particular tribe, whether you are, for as long as you are a northerner, you are a Fulani man. It is not every northerner that's a Fulani man. That is to start with. And in any case, a Fulani man is a Nigerian. Constitutionally, Nigeria gave him the right to reside and do business in any part of the country. He's known to be a cattle rearer, so it means, and land, by Nigerian Constitution 1979 or 78, it says that all land belongs to the federal government. So no state government even own a land, it's property of the federal government. So it is the federal government that will decide where or what, where one can live or where one cannot live. And even at the federal government level, there's a constitutional provision that gave the right and of residence to every Nigerian anywhere in Nigeria. So for a particular region or tribe to say that because you come from a certain region you cannot live, or you are being tagged as a criminal, or in other words, if I want to use the word, you are being tagged as a Fulani headsman, whether you are a Fulani or not. Like I said, in the north, you have a lot of tribes. You have the Hausa. A Hausa man is not a Fulani man. A Nupe man is not a Fulani man. A Bari man is not a Fulani man. A Tiv man is not a Fulani man. And Ibra man is not a Fulani man. You understand? You have a Kataf man is not a Fulani man. You have so many different tribes. And in all the states in the north, every state you find a Fulani man. A Lantang man is not a Fulani man. But that does not make a Fulani man not to be a Nigerian. That does not make a Fulani man not to be recognized and accepted. And that does not make him not to be embraced wherever he is. He is a Nigerian, and that can live in any part of Nigeria, like we rightly know. Now, the recent uprising that happened, a lot of issues come up, and there's this, if you like, the 3 days event that has happened in Ibadan, Sasa, and then Kinyele market and things like that. There was burning, destructions of property, and killings of innocent Nigerians in the name of common thing that could have been something that would have been solved within 3 people. You don't even need a larger society to solve it, but it has, because there is a predetermined intention that has brought about a lot of destructions of lives and properties, and that thing is still ongoing. It has not stopped, and unless and until our leaders accept the fact that we are Nigerians and must live in Nigeria as Nigerians under the constitution, will continue to have this problem. Like he rightly mentioned, the northwest governors are right now, as I speak to you, meeting with the national security advisors and other stakeholders in order to prefer solution to the problems of northern Nigeria. We have advised in the past that this kind of a meeting shouldn't have just been between the governors and the national security advisor and some few people. It's supposed to be a meeting that will carry every stakeholder along to discuss this issue of security. We have always said it, the security of lives and property is the responsibility of government, but not only government, it's also the responsibility of all. And everybody has his own way of thinking, and everybody has his own, God-given intelligence and psyche. So people can advise, the people you don't think can give you solution to a problem, when you discuss with them, they will prefer solution to a problem that you see and think it is so complicated that you begin to
are
think.
You advocating for a larger
that is
peace
exactly what I am advocating for, because the same governors you are going to meet, the same national security advisor you are going to meet, with some few that were selected and are being invited to come and discuss. The same people have been discussing these issues for a very long time, yet there is no solution to the problem. So if the same people have been thinking, have been talking, have been acting on the same problem, and yet the problem continue to persist, then you need to open it up, make it much larger than you are doing it right now, so that other opinions can come in. It is, like I said, it is not too sophisticated as they see it to be, finding solution to this very security problem. It is not as sophisticated as they see it to be. It could be as simple as they thought it cannot be. When you involve the larger stakeholders into it, you find a solution to the problem without looking too far away from where you are. The solution to every problem is right close to where the problem is. It's just like what the English adage says, the insect that eat the fruit is right inside the fruit. It's the same thing, that a solution to every problem is right there where the problem is. The solution is there. Okay. So you can look for the solution and find it where the problem is, and you solve the problem.
Okay. Your take on the reports of plans by some governors or suggestion that governors should negotiate with bandits?
Well, it is a double-edged sword, like Alpha rightly said. It is a double-edged sword. First and foremost, we need to look at it critically. In the first instance, negotiation with bandits. Why are we negotiating? First, who is a bandit, or what is banditry? Banditry, in a simple term, is an act of naming, arson, destructions of lives and property of innocent people by a group of people that feel aggrieved for one reason or the other, and the same people they are attacking are not the people that offend them or are the source of offense for them to have come into that den. If this is just one out of so many definitions that you can give to bandit or banditry, that then you will ask, why are you negotiating with someone who enjoys the destructions of lives and property of people who did not do anything to him or them?
And what will be the proper measure, like you have said? Do we have the manpower, or can we wipe or address such issues?
That is two things. That is why I say it is a double-edged sword. Do we have the manpower to go after these people? If you ask me, I will tell you yes. I was discussing with a very senior military officer just 2 days ago, and he was saying that somebody was suggesting if were to be the chief of army staff, what he would do, he would have closed up all the so-called school of this, school of that, as far as the army is concerned. School of this, school of that. So many training schools within the armed forces. He said he would close them all up and assemble all the soldiers in that various schools and send them out into the field for them to work. How do you do that? Now, in each of the school of these various schools in the armed forces, you don't find less than 500 soldiers per school. And those soldiers are there lying down doing in the name of normal school work or activities or course.
There's the administration part of it.
That is what I'm talking about. So he said he will lock up all and bring out all the soldiers there. If you bring out among all more than 20-something schools that you have within the Nigerian Army alone, same goes to the Nigerian Air Force, same goes to the Navy. If you assemble all these ones and bring them out from that so much school thing, and send them to the field, how many soldiers did you think he will have on the field that will work? Because those ones are there hiding, and while others are somewhere working. That is in the name of whether we have the manpower to go after this bandit. I think if you take that angle of it, then I will tell you, yes, we have the manpower that can go after this. But this is not just only about manpower. Apart from the manpower, do we have the weaponry? Do we have the working tools that the manpower will use to work? That's a $1 million question. I will tell you that going by what is going on from the last service chief that the president exited, he has lamented that he has provided for them everything that they have asked for in terms of financial capacity. And when you give financial capacity, it means you give them everything they need to purchase whatever they want to work with. And he said even at that, he is still having problem. That was why he said to them in one of their meetings, they said they are doing their best, and he said their best was not good enough. So if that is anything to go by, that is to say they don't have the required or enough machinery to handle that. So even if you bring out these personnel from the schools, for example, and send them on the field, and then what are they going to use in fighting? That is another angle of it. So manpower, yes, we have. Machinery, that is the challenge. The capacity to act depends on the combination of manpower and the machinery for them to act. That is on one side. The other side, if you look at the bandits, for example, where they move in 300 motorcycles, carrying three people, each of the three carrying AK-47, each AK-47 carrying 3 magazines. If you put together, my brother, is a very big number. And then you can see the fighting capacity, fighting power, the fighting power that they have, that they can face whoever they face. You just take the issue of the Nungwari here now, that 3-4 days ago, where some of our personnel, the Air Force and the rest of them, were killed in the process of trying to find the bandit because of they have overpowered them. The number of the bandits that come attacking is 5 times, 10 times greater than the number of the security personnel that were there. Even though the security personnel tried their best, but eventually at the end of the day, a lot of them were killed and many of them were injured. They are in the hospital. So you see, that is where you now look at another issue of, can we wipe them out? It is not going to be as easy as you think it is going to be. But will you also go into negotiation with people that enjoy killing human beings for no reason? That is another aspect. You see,
for how long do we keep asking such questions?
We have
living with this for a very long time. Don't you think it's time to act?
It is time to act. It is time to act.
Resolution and actually
acting on it. It is time to act. You see, I only go by what Alpha tried to portray, and so that I can bring it more open for not only me and you that are here, but for Nigerians that are watching and listening to this very program that we are having now, so that everybody can call in and contribute or think out of what we are saying and try to find solution to the problem, because we all know what the problems are, but we are now talking of what is the solution to these very problems. Talking about proposed amnesty to bandits. I am of the opinion that you don't need to grant amnesty to any bandit. Granting amnesty to a bandit. What about the family of the people that this bandit killed? Destroyed. What about the properties destroyed by these bandits? What about those that have been injured by those bandits? What about the women?
Such, how do you reintegrate?
That is another thing. What about the wives of the husband that have been killed by this bandit? What about the children of those men and women that have been killed or raped or maimed by this bandit? Did you think they will ever forgive such situation? Even if you try to forgive, give the bandit the amnesty, these people will live with that anger, and they will wish to, to revenge such things. So there's a problem. Now, how do de-radicalization of bandits or reintegrating them into the society, it is also another issue entirely. My brother, this is a very complex and dangerous situation that we are in right now as I speak to you, and it requires a complex thinking and
if you cannot overcome, do you keep working on trial and errors while
you cannot
hundreds of people are
still being killed? No, you cannot continue on trial and error. That was why I say you don't need to forgive them. You need to set as an example. Most cases, with due respect to, let's say, the police, where if after arresting the bandit, if you get them arrested, you hand them over to the police, and the next thing you hear on media, when somebody is arrested, he will say that he has been once been arrested by the police and he was released after giving money or things like that.
Which
so
is not also from the police, because the police claimed
after
interrogation,
they send them to the court, and the court grants them bail. And once it is a bailable offense, also Nigerian Constitution provides for a bailable offense and offense that are not bailable. Now, if it is a bailable offense, naturally the court will have to grant bail. So that's why I said it's a complex situation. But the thing is, let the security agencies, along with our judiciary, work as a team with the generality of Nigerians to make sure that once a bandit is arrested and he is found to be guilty of such offense, it has been proven that he is guilty, the punishment should be publicly carried out. Possibly by so doing, it will put fear into some of them, because there are those that are victims of circumstances, even among the bandits themselves. There are those that it is out of nothing. From the blues, they were involved in this banditry. If they refuse to be part of it, even they themselves will be killed. Okay. There's a lot of threat and counter threat.
We need to throw the line to that. Will any government want to play with issues of insecurity, fold its hands, and allow its people being killed?
No. To be fair to the government, there is no reasonable, there is no responsible, there is no articulated government that will want to play with the issue of security. First and foremost, the responsibility of government first is to secure the lives and property of the country, is to secure the territorial integrity of the country. That is the first primary responsibility of the government. It is to secure lives and property of the citizens, to secure the territorial integrity of the country. If these two things are not secured, there won't even be government in the first place. So there's no responsible and reasonable or an articulated government that will want to play with such a thing. I don't think so. That was why, to be fair to government, like I said in the discussion, some people that are part of the government might be playing with the security situation because they are benefiting out of it, but certainly not the leaders, not the head of the government. If you talk about the head of the government, you look at the president, you look at the vice president. These are the true heads of the government in Nigeria. Then you can go down to the level of looking at the Senate president and then the speaker of the house. Those are you coming down. Then you go to the chief justice of the federation. Then before
giving an assignment,
before those that are assigned now a responsibility, because these ones are elected representatives and they are truly the government. The president, the vice president, the Senate president, the speaker, the chief justice of the federation. These are the true leaders of government. Then you have the appointed members of government that in leadership that goes to the Minister of Defense, the National Security Advisor, the Service Chiefs, the Inspector General of Police, the DGDSS, the DGNIA, and DMI, Military Intelligence, Naval Intelligence, and all other security apparatus that constitute the intelligence network and the security network of Nigeria. These are the chain of command as far as government is concerned. Even if you have problem in the other aspect of it, naturally